Hey there, welcome to the Not Just Momma Podcast, the show where we talk about building businesses, chasing dreams, raising little yous, and keeping it real through all the chaos. We're diving into mindset, motivation, and all things mompreneur life, all while microwaving our coffee for the 20 millionth time. I'm your host, Heather Madsen, a dream-chasing mompreneur who knows exactly what it's like to juggle big ambitions with a million daily tasks. Because let's be honest, we're not just moms. We're wives, we're partners, we're daughters, friends, creators, dreamers, and so much more. And just because we're raising little tiny humans doesn't mean we have to put our dreams on the back burner. We deserve to chase them, build something incredible, and make a difference, all while being amazing moms. So go ahead and nuke that coffee once again and get comfy, because we're diving in. So, have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, you just seem to not be able to get ahead in your business? I'm feeling sort of that way right now just because I have a lot going on and I missed last week's episode and I just couldn't get to it. But I feel like a lot of the success or not being successful comes from your mindset, honestly. So I want to talk about the hidden mindset blocks that sort of keep us stuck, right? And a little disclaimer here, take or leave my advice. I am not like a professional counselor or therapist or anything. So really, I'm just going to speak from my heart and what I've learned and grown to learn over the years that I have been doing this. So let's talk a little bit about how our mindset is shaped, okay? And I think a lot of it has to do with our past. So maybe there are things that people say to you or have said to you in your life that have like made a big impact on you, okay? And you've actually listened to it, whether it was good or bad. You could be told like, you'll never be good at this, or that's too hard, you shouldn't do that. Oh, you'll never make it that far, right? Or maybe you've been complimented your whole life. Like, hey, you're awesome. You can do anything you set your mind to, stuff like that. Like we've been told things by others and it's been said to us repeatedly, okay? And it's been said to us enough times to where it really sinks in. And the more really you hear things, I don't know about you, but for me especially, I feel like as I grew up, the more people said the same thing to me, the more I believed it. And one of the things that really got me as a young girl, and one of the things that was said to me many, many times, and I still struggle with it, and I wish that I just didn't listen to the people, but they told me I was quiet, that I looked angry, because my RBF face is pretty bad. But I was told that I was too shy, too quiet, too mean, even though those people never really knew who I was as a person and never took the time to get to know me. They thought that I was mean because of how I looked and how my face looked and how I portrayed myself. When really, I mean, most people that do get to know me, they end up really liking to talk to me. But seriously, like you get told something like that over and over again. For me, it was, you're too quiet, right? Now, it's one of the biggest setbacks I have in my online business is getting myself out there to be known as something other than this quiet person. And that stuff being said to me, it kind of like shaped my mindset to believe that I was this quiet person, that I don't talk, or that I'm this mean person with an RBF face, right? And like people will make passing comments to me like, oh, you should smile more. It's like, okay, I wasn't really paying attention, but this is just my natural state of being. And it doesn't mean I'm mad or anything. It's just who I am. And sometimes I'm afraid to even be on video because I'm afraid I'm going to come off as this person that is just not nice. And I mean, I'm learning from myself every day. I'm learning now that I've like gotten into this online business space that it takes time to change that mindset and truly believe in yourself. So yeah, that's one way I have found that my mindset has been shaped. And I know that it is true with other people too. There might have been a lot of things that you were told as a child and you just grew up believing it because you thought it was a thing. Another thing that can shape your mindset is like past failures or trauma or constantly being compared to others, right? For me, being compared to others, it makes me feel intimidated. And when people tell you, like, oh, why can't you do this like her or this like them, and it makes you feel kind of small, doesn't it? And even the trauma or the bad things that has happened in your past. And it's not to bring up any hard feelings or past things that have happened to you, but we really have to think about how it shapes us and how it brings us to who we currently are. And honestly, I have great parents and they have always supported me in everything I have done. But I also feel like there are times where I am told that something's not right for me, that I won't ever be able to do it. It'll be too hard. So, like, for example, I worked at the salon with my mother, right? And this is her life, right? She lives and breathes it. She's constantly there. She's a workaholic. And I do give her all the glory for that. But she has told me in the past that there are no other jobs in the world like being a hairstylist. It's easy money, but my heart was never in it. I don't love it. And that was always really hard for me to hear as a hairstylist who didn't want to be a hairstylist. And so I was told this so many times to the point where I actually believed that there was nothing out there for me, okay? And I still struggle with that. And it kind of made me feel like a failure in an aspect because I felt like I was never able to accomplish anything else in my life. Okay, that this was it for me. I had nothing else. This was my only choice. And still to this day, I really, really struggle with getting out of that comfort zone, being at the salon and, cutting hair and doing hair in general. It comes naturally to me. I have to say that. So getting out of my comfort zone and getting into an online business, it was totally different. And I felt like I could never be successful. And even the trauma that you've been through, maybe some of the bad things that you faced in life, it has shaped who you are and how you react to certain things. Okay. And my heart goes out to you if like anything like that has happened. But what I'm saying, all in all, is that the things that have happened, the things that I've said, our experiences all shape our mindset and how we think and feel about things, right? And then it all just becomes internal. Like you are programmed to think that way, right? Or you may think you are programmed to think that way. And I hope I'm relating to you a little bit here because I know that everyone in the online world, and not only in the online world, anywhere in life, there are things that hold them back. And the one thing that keeps them all held back is the mindset. And that creates limiting beliefs in our minds. And if you don't know what limiting beliefs are, they're just little sneaky thoughts that creep in and stop us before we even get started, before we even have the chance to dive into what we want to accomplish, okay? They may sound like, I don't have the time. I don't know enough. And talking about I don't have enough time, I really feel like I don't. But the trick is to make time. I don't have time to record this episode right now because I'm a busy mom of two and I homeschool them and I'm managing a hockey team and I'm trying to find time to work too. Okay. But you have to make time. Okay. You only have time for the things that you make time for. But anyway, that was a little rant of mine. um, anyway, these limiting beliefs might sound like I don't know enough. And I felt that way when I first started my online business. I had no idea what to do. I'd never done it before. And so I was very intimidated. And maybe a limiting belief for a lot of new online business owners might be that you're not techy enough. Well, guess what? You can learn. I'm living proof. I knew nothing about building websites or making a podcast or doing this and that and like interlacing them with each other and running email lists and stuff. But I figured it out. I learned. Anyone can learn. Okay. Sorry, I keep going off on these rants because I'm just like feeling it right now. And then maybe you feel like I'll never be successful at this. Like you can start it and you start getting all these doubts creeping in, and it just tells you that you will never be able to do this. I felt that way. And I'm betting you felt that way too. I mean, doesn't it sound familiar? But here's the truth. Those beliefs are not facts. They are just stories that we make up in our head because of the past experiences that we've had. They're just stories that your mind repeats over and over again until you actually believe them. And let me tell you, it's a sad day when you actually believe them. But here's the beautiful part: stories can be rewritten. So I want you to take a pause and I want you to ask yourself, what story am I repeating in my head that might not even be true? Okay. And I mean, really think about this, because are they true? Like, have you proven it to be true? And most likely not if it's a limiting belief. And so when we start getting limiting beliefs and you start believing them, it kind of keeps you stuck in inaction, right? And it is the biggest enemy of building an online business or any business in general. So how do we rewrite our stories? How do we stop letting these beliefs run the show for us? Well, here are a few things that have worked for me, okay? Number one is awareness. The first step is really just noticing when those negative beliefs come up for you. And I really don't want you to judge yourself, but just notice. Notice the beliefs that come up. It might be a thought that keeps coming up over and over and over again, and you just need to be really aware when it's happening. Number two, I want you to replace the story. When a negative thought just pops up in your head, I want you to ask yourself, what is a new belief that I can choose instead? Okay. And it has to be something really achievable and nothing so far-fetched that you don't feel like you can reach it. For example, instead of I'll never figure this out, tell yourself I'm learning. And every step I take brings me closer to figuring it out. Number three, I want you to find proof. Your brain loves evidence. Okay. It's like, I don't know, you don't believe anything till you see it, right? Same goes here. So I want you to collect little wins along the way. When you succeed at something, acknowledge it. Tell yourself like, hey, I did this. Like, did you create a social media post today and you're horrible at that? Celebrate it. Did you research one step for your course and you figured out how to get going on it? That's proof that you're capable. Even if it's not the full picture that you really truly want, it's still something, and you should celebrate every single time you make a step towards your goal. Okay. So find that proof. Number four, I want you to surround yourself with the right voices. We cannot control or take away what has happened in our past, but we can control what we let in now. So fill your mind with positivity, okay? I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to inspiring people who have done it. And I talk to friends who really encourage me and believe in me in everything I do. Okay. And I have learned as I've gotten older that I really don't need the people in my life who degrade me and tell me that I'm this when I know deep down that I'm not. So, out of everything today, I want you to hear this. The only difference between someone who builds a successful online business and someone who stays stuck is their mindset. And that's it. Every single entrepreneur that you admire, they had doubts too. Trust me. They didn't just let those doubts make the final decision, though. They kept going, even though they were scared. And even though people told them they wouldn't be successful or that it was too hard, they didn't care. They kept going. Okay. So, my challenge for you today is this: notice one limiting belief that's been coming up for you over and over again. And I want you to replace it with a new belief that feels achievable to you, just one. And then take one small action step today from that new belief, okay? Because your mindset doesn't have to block your success. It can actually be the thing that builds it. And seriously, you guys, this is something I work on all the time with myself. I have my doubts. I have my beliefs about myself, but I have to constantly keep telling myself that I am capable of whatever I set my mind to. And I have found that when I shifted from negative to that positive, I can do this, that's when I see the fruits of my labor. We need to have the growth mindset, the mindset that you can grow from the person you are right now to the person you want to become. Anything is possible. So I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if this episode really encouraged you, which I hope it did, please share it with another mom or entrepreneur who might need the reminder too. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my email list so that you can hear tips, tricks, and things I don't always share on this podcast. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me, okay? Remember, you are capable, you are worthy, and you are meant to create something truly amazing. And it all starts in your noggin, all right? Until next time, bye.